Join us now in the main ring for the second of our groups this evening. This is the toy group. Our judge, Val Bloor, is centre stage. Joining me is Frank Kane, talking about some of his favourite breeds, I should imagine, this evening.
And here's the first of them, the Affenpinscher.
Following into the ring, the second of our toy breeds, the Australian Silky Terrier.
And here's the Bichon Frise strutting his stuff.
The Bolognese.
And the Bolognese.
The Cavalier King Charles Spaniel.
Here comes big cheers for the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel of Blenheim.
The long-coated Chihuahua.
The first of the two Chihuahuas, this is the long-coated.
The smooth-coated Chihuahua.
And here's the smooth coat, full of cheekiness.
The Chinese Crested.
The Chinese Crested dog.
The Coton De Tulear.
And here's the Coton De Tulear, growing in popularity now.
The English Toy Terrier.
One of the oldest of the toy breeds. This, the English Toy Terrier.
The Griffon Bruxellois.
Here's the rough-coated, the Griffon Bruxellois. The Griffon.
The Havanese.
Next into the ring, the Havanese.
The Italian Greyhound.
And the distinctive high-stepping action of the Italian Greyhound.
Such a delicate breed.
The Japanese Chin.
Instantly recognisable, the little Japanese chin.
The King Charles Spaniel.
And here's the King Charles Spaniel, a cousin of the Cavalier, which we saw earlier.
And the little lion dog, the Lowchen.
And here's the Maltese, distinctive black pigmentation.
The little min pin, the miniature Pinscher.
And here's the butterfly dog, the Papillon.
The Pekingese.
The Pekingese. Going to take a little while to cross the ring on this one.
The Pomeranian.
Here's the Pomeranian, buoyant and light in its gait.
The Pug.
Ever popular, here's the Pug.
And the last breed to join the toy group here at Crufts 2016, the Yorkshire Terrier.
And here comes the Yorkie, the Yorkshire Terrier.
I shall now hand you back over to Jonathan Lottery to take you through the main judging of this toy group.
Thanks very much, Marina. It's now once again my very great pleasure to continue to look after you along with Kim Bill as we move into the second group, the Crufts 2016, the toy group. So while I'm now judge, this evening Val Bloor takes her.
So Val Bloor walking her lineup, taking a look.
First look round, very important, taking in the outline and balance of the breeds. First impressions of breed type are seen in the outline and proportions.
Or in the case of the Griffon Bruxellois, I know I'm going to show you my back end and not look.
Many of the toy breeds are miniaturized versions of sporting breeds, bred down to please the ladies of the house, and it's amazing to see how popular they are.
And it's a mistake to think that because these dogs are little and in the toy group, they are not characters. Every single one of them thinks they're the size of a Doberman Pinscher.
May I now ask you, before we start the individual examination of each of the dogs, to once again show your appreciation for our judge, Mrs. Val Bloor, and the 23 toy group best of breed winners here this evening.
Such a characteristic little cheeky monkey face. This is the Affenpinscher. This one's come all the way from the Netherlands to compete at Crufts this year. The little black devil, this dog's called, originating in Germany and one of the oldest toy breeds in Europe. Sturdy little animal this, short-backed, a relatively small head, broad in the brow, but that monkey expression is so characteristic of the breed. They should be full of themselves, like most of the toy breeds.
This is a native of Germany. The Affenpinscher has a captivating
You can see the character in this little one, can't you, Frank?
Yes, the light lifting gait. It's known as a floating goose step. It's sort of high pitch but light.
Yes, you can see that liveliness in this little character. The tail hasn't stopped since the moment it stepped in the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 11.
The first of our toys, the light-footed little Affenpinscher.
Next on the table is the turn of the Australian Silky Terrier.
And here's the Australian Silky Terrier. This is a breed which derives from a mixture of the Australian Terrier, the sporting terrier of Australia, mixed with a Yorkshire Terrier, which were taken out to Australia by early settlers. And it's got some of the characteristics of both. It's got the length of body of the Australian and also the silky textured coat of the Yorkshire Terrier. And the colour's very important, blue and tan. Now, we'll see that although it's a toy dog, it's feisty, can still do a job of work and see off the rodents if necessary, and full of confidence.
Keenly alert and very active personalities.
And Nunu is a multi-champion who's come all the way from Helsinki in Finland to compete at Crufts. Seen something there that it wants to get. They're compact, these little dogs, with a nice level top line. The coat should be straight and fine and glossy, very characteristic. The Australian Silky Terrier.
Now we have on the table the Bichon Frise.
Originally from Tenerife, this breed, but developed in France, as its name would suggest, the Bichon Frise. Believe it or not, the breed standard says they may be shown untrimmed or maybe have their muzzle and feet slightly tidied up. Whoever tidied this dog up, I'd very much like them to come and tidy my house. Balanced, smart little dog this, close coat with loose white curls and a plume of a tail carried over the back. And of course, what really characterises them is that lovely contrasting dark pigment, beautiful dark eyes and a dark nose.
They're one of the Bichon family. There's several of them which came from the Mediterranean countries, all quite similar, several of them white with a black pigmentation. Great confidence and lovely dark eyes and full of confidence.
And really gives the impression, this breed, of substance in a small package. There's no way you'd think this is a lightweight, would you?
The best of breed winning Bichon Frise.
And very alert and light strutting gait, full of confidence and of course great style in the toy breeds. And here's another of the Bichon family. This is the Bolognese. As its name suggests, comes from northern Italy, from the town of Bologna, where he was developed. You see his distinctive coat is loose flocks, which should be easy to groom. And here we have again dark pigmentation, sturdy and square they should be, and taken from Italy and spread throughout Europe by sailors and merchants who took them. Such was their popularity.
And those flocks in the coat, it means that, as you can see, the coat falls into separate little locks of hair rather than being one big fuzz.
But their distinctive square outline is one of the characteristics.
And that curved plume of a tail carried up over the back. Quick and smart on the move. Now, this Cavalier King Charles Spaniel has come all the way from the United States, Iowa to be precise, to compete here at Crufts. Such a popular toy breed. Active, graceful, friendly, with such a gentle expression. This coat's called Blenheim, where you've got that lovely rich red and white, but they also come in ruby, which is all red, black and tan, or tricolour. Melting expression, lovely large eyes, and a broad skull that should have that graceful dome to it.
Kennel Club status until 1944. Not only is the Cavalier a strong...
This is one of the royal spaniels developed in the court of Charles I, the Cavalier King. He had a lot of them running around his houses and palaces. This one takes its name from Blenheim Palace, actually. I've just taken a little fright, full of alertness,
That's better.
And
Here, up comes the tail. Much happier now.
Top
We're
10
on the move.
and topped an entry of 370 Cavaliers here today. 2 judges, one for dogs, one for bitches. They agreed that this one should be best of breed.
And justifiably one of the most popular of the toy breeds because they make such marvellous companions, these little dogs.
That's number 427, the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel.
The Cavalier King Charles Spaniel.
The first of the Chihuahua varieties that are to consider this evening is the long-coat Chihuahua.
And here's the long-coated Chihuahua. This is the smallest breed in the world, but they don't know that. 4 to 6 pounds maximum weight is the desirable weight for the breed. They come originally from Mexico. From there they were taken into America, where they were made hugely popular by film star owners, and of course they've spread throughout the world. A dome skull, large flared ears and large eyes, and a plumed tail. And full of temperament and confidence. Tell him he's the smallest dog in the world and he'll defy you.
And of course we've got the same breed standard for both the long coat that we're looking at now and then the short coat that comes next. Just a difference in the type of coat, soft in texture, flat, maybe with a very slight wave in the long coat Chihuahua. And of course that apple dome of a head is very characteristic of this breed.
And the eyes give them great character.
Thanks, Kim. The smooth coats were judged today by Alison Foot. She chose this male, number 6.
Now, by contrast, here's the short-coated Chihuahua. You can see that this dog is slightly longer than it is tall, and that's correct. They should be level in the back. Lovely high-set tail, which of course communicates the dog's attitude. Oh, a little kiss for the judge there. Without the coat to cover up, it's much easier to see what you get in the short coat Chihuahua, and you can certainly see the characteristic shape of that head an awful lot better. Prick ears, an essential, cheeky expression.
Yeah, the smooth coat's name is apt. Its coat must most definitely be smooth.
And we can see, although they're small, they've got strong bone, of absolutely level top line, and that tail perfection. It's slightly plumed over the back, quite thick, and a density to the coat.
The little short-coated Chihuahua. Smallest dog in the group, smallest dog in the world.
Is the Chinese Crested. These were judged today by Valerie Jennings, and there was an excellent
Now
rating of 204 dogs.
The Chinese Crested, a little hesitant on the table. This is a very ancient breed from China, goes all the way back to the ancient dynasties of the Han Dynasty. The larger varieties were hunting dogs, and they were bred down and miniaturized to these toy dogs. They come in 2 varieties. Here we have the hairless type, which has a plume of hair running from the head down the neck, and little anklets over the feet and a plume on the tail. This one, not very confident on the table, I'm afraid, a bit overawed.
Where they were guardians of treasure houses. In fact, they are still good watchdogs today, as well as great companions.
It's such a shame. Sometimes the group ring at Crufts can be overwhelming for a dog, and this one's not showing himself at all well because he's really taken fright at something quite difficult for our judge to have a look at it properly. Those large, erect ears, very characteristic of the breed, and the coat pattern, of course. They do come in a longer coated variety as well.
Which we call the powder puff, where they've got a veil of hair all over the body. So here the plumed ears and the socks over the feet.
This dog hails all the way from Madagascar, the island of Tula to be precise, which is where it gets its name from, the Coton De Tulear. And the coton part comes from the fact that the coat texture feels like cotton. Long, fine, singled texture coat. So it's not, you haven't got a top coat and an undercoat, it's all one piece. Short in the foreface, this dog should be, framed by high-set ears, and of course the characteristic black pigment in the eyes and the nose against that crisp white coat.
And it's rather nice. This one has come all the way from France, where the breed was developed. The distinctive top line, it has a rise over the loin to a low-set tail. Now, although they're single-coated, there's a lot of grooming goes to keep them looking like this.
And this dog's really enjoying itself on the move. It was a little unsettled on the table, but now I own the place. Full of attitude, the little Coton De Tulear.
And now the next dog is the oldest of Britain's native toy breeds, the English Toy Terrier. Mr. John Kerrigan was judged today.
Now, the most ancient of the native toy breeds, the English Toy Terrier, used to be known as the English Black and Tan Terrier. It is, again, a miniaturized breed coming down from the Manchester Terrier. It's got the same distinctive colour, the black and tan with the tan markings in the correct places on the muzzle above the eyes. The ears are like candle flames, the shape of candle flames, a distinctive feature. They're fine-boned and again, they were a sporting breed, so they can still distinguish themselves in the rat pits, and they were used for ratting in the early days. And they're the distinctive extended trotting action for which the breed is known, picking up its feet and extending forward.
And as you say, this dog might look fine, but it has a huge character to go with
Absolutely.
that persona, and was very much a dog that was used to keep your premises free of vermin, and had the attitude to do just that. Short, thick, glossy coat in that characteristic black and tan marking.
On the table now we see the Griffon Bruxellois.
Joan Golding was the breed judge today, and she had an entry of...
I love the faces of these little dogs. The Griffon Bruxellois hails from Belgium with a touch of Affenpinscher, and you can really see that in the monkey face. Can be rough or smooth coated, red, black or black and tan, this one a red. We're looking for a cobby, really balanced, square little dog, but with plenty of substance and attitude. The head is relatively large. Nice large eyes with a rounded skull, tiny little ears which are high set. Nice short back body, but deep in the chest, a dog that gives you an impression of substance despite his small size.
And this was established very early, about 1600. The type was already established in Holland, and they were used to guard the stables, so they're good guard dogs. You can see pictures of Griffons in the old masters' paintings.
The Griffon Bruxellois rest of breed number 1400.
And here's the Havanese. It's the national dog of Cuba, where he was known as the habanero. And he was the much esteemed by the wealthy people of Cuba. However, with the communist regime took over, they left and took the breed to America, where it was developed. Now, it is again of the Bichon family, but again it comes in all colours, and like the white Bichons we've seen earlier, any variety of colours in the Havanese. The coat is silky, can have a slight wave in it, dark eyes and a very loving temperament, as we see there.
Slightly longer than tall, this one, isn't it, Frank? With that wonderful tail carriage, communicating emotion.
They're the correct
This is my
proportions
place
of
in
the
the
breed.
world.
And a jaunty springing action and a slight rise to the top line is typical of the breed. And this one shows it off very well.
Should be free striding and with plenty of stamina on the move.
Beautiful, large, dark eyes.
Dan Eriksson from Sweden was our judge today for the Italian Greyhounds. We had a very strong entry of
The delicacy of the Italian Greyhound. A Greyhound in miniature, but elegant, graceful, and a heritage that goes all the way back to Pompeii. Known here in the UK from around about the 17th century. Fine, long head, little rose ears with a long, graceful neck. And that deep chest is quite narrow when the judge puts her hands on it, with an arching top line from the shoulder all the way back to that tail carriage. Short, fine coat which is groomed with a velvet pad. You wouldn't want to do anything more to that little dog.
And the distinctive high stepping action of the Italian Greyhound, and it should keep its curvaceous outline on the move. Very stylish, beautiful to live with. They love comfort but can also gallop well, I can tell you.
Yes, this might be a diminutive version, but it's still basically a greyhound.
Yeah. Beautiful style and fine, strong bone.
Another of our judges from Scandinavia judged the Japanese chin today with a strong entry of 132.
The Japanese chin now on the table, one of the aristocrats from the Orient. Although it carries the name Japanese as a prefix, it really came from China. Much esteemed in the Chinese courts. The Empress of China donated one and gave one as a present to the Empress of Japan, and from there they were developed. So they're a dainty dog. The word chin means cat-like, and perhaps that describes the large head of the Japanese chin, but also they're scrupulously clean and will lick their paws and clean their faces with their paws.
And those little paws are described as hare feet, aren't they? They're nice and long like a hare, and the feathering comes forwards.
Yeah, this long silky coat. Doesn't look very comfortable on the carpet, this one, moving.
No.
Pekingese club. After that, they became separate, the Japanese club being joined and registered at the Kennel Club in 1905. 1670.
The delightful King Charles Spaniel. Favoured originally by Charles II and, of course, a relative of the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. That's easy to see. Called the English Toy Spaniel in some countries. This little dog is refined, and yet we need substance. We need a cobby little gentleman. They're very reserved, and that dome of a head with wide-set dark eyes. This one looks like it's almost passing out to sleep, framed by those lovely long feathered ears. Very distinguished looking.
The Charlie, as it's become known, is closely linked to the royal courts as far back as Marais. In fact, Queen Victoria...
The King Charles has a more domed skull than the Cavalier. It's a little bit smaller, but again, wonderful sporting spaniel temperament. We see that in its wagging tail and very sound movement.
And just like the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, this one has a long silky coat that can come in either ruby, Blenheim, tri or black and tan.
Family members. Ladies and gentlemen, number 1844, the King Charles Spaniel.
You can really see the character of that little King Charles Spaniel.
This one's been a winner at Crufts before, so had a very good day.
Lovely tricolour markings.
Now, the distinctive outline of the Lowchen, or little lion dog, and we can see why it gets that name, because the clip makes it look like a lion with a mane of hair over the forehand of the dog, over the front of the dog, a large broad skull and dark eyes, fairly short in the foreface, and a silky textured coat. They have great appeal in their expressions. Now, it's thought the breed came from medieval France and developed in Germany, the Lowchen, or little lion dog. Very agile, it can stand up to 13 inches high, so it's one of the tallest of the toy dogs.
This is Rio, who's come from Italy to compete at Crufts today. That coat's long and silky. It's allowed to have a wave, but again, it's single. It doesn't have an undercoat, and it can be absolutely any colour. The plume of a tail carried up over the little Lowchen's back.
And they've proven their worth in agility and obedience as well. Highly intelligent.
And should be nice and free on the move.
Harold Lees was the judge of the Maltese today. There's an entry of 59. Carol chose...
Maggie is a little Maltese, known to have been in Malta all the way back to the Roman times, and distinctive in that all-white, long, straight, silky coat. They can have slight lemon markings, but always with contrasting black nose and eyes. This little dog is quite short and cobby under all that coat. Round, little black padded feet and a plumed tail carried up over its back. Prized for the wonderful nature of that coat.
What we're certain of is the Maltese's ancient history, and according to Charles Darwin, the breed can be...
And we see the beautiful dark eyes and expression of this Maltese. They are a very ancient breed, as you say, Jess, and they were taken from the island of Malta by Phoenician sailors onto the mainland. In fact, they were so popular with the ladies of the house that they were carried around in little ornamental baskets, or indeed in the sleeve of their dresses. They were one of the sleeve breeds, carried around in the sleeves.
So the original handbag dogs. Lively and intelligent and such affectionate little creatures.
The Maltese Best of Breed winner.
There we have the Maltese.
Our judge is an expert in Maltese. She's bred many champions.
Today, there were 100 entered, and it was the dog number 1974 that she chose
The
to be best
miniature Pinscher, originating in Germany, where it was bred down from the working Pinschers or terrier dogs. We will see the Doberman in the working group, very popular. This larger middle size, and here's the miniature, carrying the same attributes, the wedge-shaped head. Here we have sharply pricked ears, a short body, and a fine but dense coat. It should be quite sturdy. And one of the things which is distinctive is the high-stepping hackney action which the breed asks for.
And I think I'm right in saying, Frank, that they can have pricked ears, or they can actually fold forwards as well,
They can
can't
have
they?
the drop-eared, but the prick, we see more of them. The prick-eared version, we are more popular. This one becoming a champion today, so the lady from Scotland, Kathy here handling, has had a very happy day.
Judge Valor, number 1974.
And a happy little dog, full of attitude too. The tail's not stopped going the whole time.
Val makes her way back to the table. We see the Papillon. There was an entry of 200.
Now we have the Papillon, French for the butterfly that this little dog's ears remind you of. Of course, they also come in a feline form, which has drop ears. Feline, of course, meaning moth. Slightly longer bodied, this one. Nice level top line they should have. High set plumed tail, and again with hair feet. But it's really the head and ears that are so characteristic of this breed. Abundant coat, which is fine and silky and flowing as the dog moves. White with patches of any colour except liver.
Huge entry today, and this one has won and defeated in the breed last year's top dog all breeds. So he's had a very victorious day here, pulled off a great win.
Free-flowing, positive movement, the little Papillon, very light on their toes. Ears carried slightly back as they move, listening to everything the handler's asking.
Should be fine-boned, dainty and free-moving, and this one has all of those qualities.
Judged an entry of 78 Pekingese today, and it was the dog number 2323 that she chose as her best of breed winner. One of the oldest breeds of dogs.
And the Pekingese, distinctive, solid, low to ground. The breed is again coming from China, where the Chinese liked the smaller dogs and the flatter-faced dogs. They were hugely popular. They could only be owned by the nobility. No commoner was allowed to own a Pekingese. That's how elite they were. They came to England for the first time in 1860 after the ransacking of Peking. 4 came to England, became popular, and I have to say, largely in gentry houses, but now they've maintained their popularity throughout the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, the best of breed Pekingese number 2323. Next dog on the table is
The little Pomeranian. This one's come from Norway, developed here in Britain, and the first popularised by Queen Victoria. The Pom was bred originally from German Spitz, and you can see the link there. Very characteristic Spitz type. Foxy look, neat little ears. They should be short-backed and give the impression of being really sturdy but fine-boned. You don't want any heaviness in a Pomeranian. Little cat-like paws and a high-set tail, and that coat's double, harsh and straight on top, soft underneath with a characteristic profuse neck frill.
again Queen Victoria after her visit to
And they should be light and buoyant in their gait, just getting ready to go. And
adopted one as a constant.
They're such characters, aren't they? Lovely little face. This is a pocket rocket of a toy dog.
looks like a little ball on legs, really. So great alertness. They were very popular with Queen Victoria, and she actually showed her dogs at the London shows. That popularised the breed a lot in the United Kingdom. Holding its outline nicely there.
And they're allowed to come in all colours, but free from black or white shading.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Pomeranian Best of Breed winner.
Delightful little Pomeranian.
So Judge Baltimore turns her attention to the pug. This was the second strongest entry of all the toys. The
And here's the pug. From over 300 entries today, this is our best of breed winner, and it's come all the way from Russia. The pug is another of the Chinese breeds, and perhaps the most substantial of all the toys. The standard says multum in parvo, which means a lot of dog in a small space. Lovely dark eyes, sturdy bone, the dark mask and dark ears are desired breed features. And large nostrils, essential for good breathing in the flatter-faced breeds.
For the Royal Dutch Patriots, as against the Kane for the Patriot Commoners.
They're such charming little dogs, pugs, but we're looking for something compact and cobby, really well muscled. It might be a toy dog, but full of power, the pug. Great dignity.
And that high set tail with a twist over its back, one of the breed features. And they go with a pug roll. Their substance gives them a slight roll on the move.
2802, the best of breed winning pug.
So there's the pug.
And now on the table, we have the final dog in tonight's toy group, the Maltese to look at, the Yorkshire
So this is the last of our toy dogs, the Yorkshire Terrier. This one's come from Madrid in Spain to compete.
of 107 dogs.
The coat of this breed is of paramount importance.
03.
Long, perfectly straight, glossy, dark steel blue with a rich, bright tan. And you'll see the judge examining the coat really carefully. They have a relatively small head, flat skull between those little V-shaped ears, and should always have a bright and alert expression.
To Scotch or Yorkshire Terrier, with the current name of Yorkshire Terrier not being adopted officially until 18.
Yes, that steel blue coat with the tan shadings, one of the prized breed features. These are again a sporting terrier in a toy frame, still very feisty, carrying its level top line, full of confidence. They're the only breed which is shown on a box in the ring, and that comes back from the tradition where originally they were shown on silk blankets in the 19th century.
Best of breed Yorkshire Terrier, number 2803.
Individual assessment of the toy group best of breed winners. And now it's Baltimore. Our judge takes a final look at the 23 dogs.
So who will Val Blore pick from our toy group to be the second of our group winners for Crufts 2016?
In the toy group of Crufts, there were 2,909 toy dogs entered and shown here today. That's 70 dogs up on last year. 13.3% of the total Crufts entry, and add that to the utility group, it's 5,921 dogs were judged here today. That's some figure, 27% of the whole show. A busy day. Busy day. First day of Crufts 2016. So Judge Val will begin her shortlist.
First one coming forward is the smooth-coated Chihuahua. Gave a very good performance. The English Toy Terrier coming forward now.
The English Toy Terrier,
And the Griffon, the Italian Greyhound, and the Havanese.
the Italian Greyhound,
The Maltese comes forward. That looked lovely.
the King Charles, and the Maltese, and the Pekingese.
And the Pekingese is brought forward.
I think that's our shortlist. Thank you.
The
very
shortlist
much.
includes the Pomeranian as well, another good performer tonight.
We have 9 shortlisted dogs for the toy group Crufts 2016. Please put your hands together one more time for those other best of breed winners. Well done on getting through to the superb spectacle, the toy group Crufts 2016.
Oh, I think we'll see them moving again before she makes up her mind.
Those dogs that you think are the best in this superb.
And there's the smooth-coated Chihuahua, a big winner, top dog in the breed for several years now.
Owned by Jean Day and Amy Davis. They come from Cheshire. That's the little smooth-coated Chihuahua. Now we have the English Toy Terrier going to move again. This is Lucy.
And a distinctive extended trot. Quite a little lift to it and a curved over the loin to the low set tail. Very distinctive and very typical in its outline, this one. Very nice movement.
Lovely candle flame ears.
And the next dog to go is the Griffon Bruxellois.
Love this Griffon Bruxellois.
Chunky substance coming from a very successful kennel, the Marquant kennel from Wales.
Full of attitude and showing really well this evening.
A rock hard top line and good tail set.
Guinevere, handled by Tracy Clayton, the Havanese.
This Havanese was one of the first champions. It's relatively new to championship status. This was the first champion female to make the champion title in the UK.
The next dog to go is the Italian Greyhound.
Tiffany, the delicate little Italian Greyhound, belongs to Helen Lister.
Beautiful curvaceous outline and high stepping action. Beautifully typical.
Representing her breed in the big ring here at Crufts. The little King Charles Spaniel. This is Skylar. Belongs to Caroline Robinson.
A tricolour and great temperament and confidence. The breed has improved massively in these areas.
Now we see moving the Maltese.
Now the Maltese. Beautiful eyes and pigmentation of the nose. Lovely level top line and that gorgeous silky coat. Now, what will our breed specialist judge think of this one? She obviously likes it a lot to get it to the shortlist here.
Come all the way from Germany to compete. And the distinctive little Pekingese.
That rolling gait comes from a wide chest and lighter hind quarters. It's relatively heavy to pick up, substantial in its body.
And of course, Albert Easton and Philip Martin, such a pedigree here at Crufts. And the last of our finalists, that gorgeous little Pomeranian, all the way from Norway, Bernd, 4 years old.
Buoyant and light, a little ball of fluff on fine, dainty legs.
And was also best male here at Crufts 2015, but of course was beaten for best of breed. So that's our toy group finalists. Who is our judge going to pull out as the group winner for 2016? Very purposeful march towards the Pekingese.
The Pekingese from Scotland, from the famous Yakee kennel, has won the toy group.
Eric takes the group. In second place, that lovely Havanese.
That's a big win for the breed.
Guinevere taking Group 2.
The Italian Greyhound, the beautifully stylish, curvaceous Italian Greyhound, into third place in the toy group.
And the little Pom takes Group 4. Bernd, all the way from Norway into Group 4, but we have our second group winner, and it is the Pekingese. Eric takes the toy group for 2016.
So Bert would be very happy there. The dog, famous name, Ooh Aah Cantona. Rather a bit of a letdown to know his pet name's Eric.
Receiving the trophy there from Brenda Banbury. Eric's little tail wagging. Look at that go.
Congratulations to the Havanese.
Obviously devoted to his owner there.
And there's the Havanese taking Group 2 with a handshake from our judge and a super win for the breed.
Very well done. And Group 4, congratulations to the Pomeranian.
The Italian Greyhound in Group 3 and the Pomeranian taking Group 4.
Here she comes. Thank you very much, Marie.
Congratulations, Toy Group winner here at Crufts 2016. When you woke up this morning, did you think that could actually happen today?
No, when I woke up this morning, I thought I wasn't going to get here. There was so much traffic.
Now, with an accent like that, I know you're not from round here. How long did it take you?
It took us about 6 hours.
6 hours. Oh, good grief. And then all this grooming, lots of that to go through today?
Not too much, because he's got a harsh coat and it doesn't need a lot of grooming.
Yes. And any more grooming from now until Sunday?
Not particularly.
Just you?
Just me.
Well,
He needs a rest.
He needs a rest now. He's got a few days to recover. Many congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Toy Group winner here at Crufts 2016, the Pekingese.
A little lap of honour there for Eric the Pekingese, who can go and put his feet up now until Sunday, where of course he'll be representing the Toy Group for Crufts Best in Show 2016.
Toy Group Judge, Crufts 2016. Ladies and gentlemen, please travel safely home. Don't forget there's coverage on Crufts, live streaming on YouTube.